Hello, everybody. All right. Well, welcome to the Mikestand. Now, as mentioned, of course, last night. Normally, we do the indie comic showcase on Thursdays, but in light of the fact that the news cycle slowed down a little bit, we decided to do it last night. And it looks like somebody's already here. Hello, Cement Shoes. I'm in the show. Well, now that we see somebody's here, I guess I can go and get right into talking about what's on tap for tonight. With that, we're going to go over a couple articles from Bounding into Comics. Um, let's see. We're going to talk a little bit about Mike Miller. Mike S. Miller's got his parody comic Top Grift on Fund My Comics now after getting banned from Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Also, some news in regards to the latest GI Joe comic. Snake Eyes remains white in Larry Hannah's GI Joe: Real American Hero. So we're going to go over those two articles plus, of course, wrestling wrap up and this day in each history. So with all that, I just do one more quick thing here, and then we will probably just go ahead and get started. Again, we have somebody in here, I guess. So with that being done and said, let's go ahead and why don't we go ahead and get right into the material here. And of course, couple things here as always. One, if you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment, and I'll try to answer comment or ask questions and try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Let's see here. We're about to get started here. Then let's see now. Let's see now. Okay, thank you for the like and the share. Anyways, so why don't we go ahead and get going here now that we see we have some people here. All right, so here we go. Here's the first article we're going to look at. All right, so all right, well, I've already all right. John Delarose launches Andrew Tate parody comic Top Grift with artist Mike S. Miller on Fund My Comic after it's banned from Kickstarter and Indiegogo. All right, so comic book creators John Delarose and Mike S. Miller launched a crowd-funded campaign for their Andrew Tate parody comic Top Grift on Fund My Comic after it was banned from Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Um, all right. Delarose shared screenshots of email exchanges from both Kickstarter and Indiegogo, noting the book has been banned from both websites. In an email from Kickstarter, the company stated, quote, "We've carefully reviewed it against our rules and were unable to approve it to launch," unquote. They added, quote, "As a public benefit corporation committed to fighting inequality and creating a more equitable world, Kickstarter disallows projects or creators that promote discrimination, subjugation, or intolerance towards marginalized groups. The email then recommended Delarose um, review the company's rules and a list of prohibited items. Indiegogo did not outright reject the campaign, but appears to have soft banned it by denying it his funds receipt verification. An email from Princess, a member of Indiegogo's trust and user operations, indicated that Delarose's um, issue had been escalated and required, quote, further assistance from our payments team. Hmm. You know, if Indiegogo and Kickstarter are going to be doing this stuff, it almost seems people should just start going directly to fund my comics, where they don't have to put up with this baloney. I mean, I get that. Okay, you wanna be on as many platforms as possible. I do get that, but if the if a particular platform in question is just going to tell you, no, we don't want your book here, we don't want your business here. All right, fine, I'll take my business elsewhere then. So, let's see. And then I guess this is from the email they got back, I guess. However, Princess was silent and has not communicated with Delarose since then, despite multiple attempts to see if the quote unquote issue had been fixed. Delarose describes the book on the campaign page, quote, prepare for the first comic that will sharpen you like iron, an age of iron. One might call it an iron age. Fight the evil that is the Matrix, just like the greatest top grifter, unquote. He continues, quote, learn life lessons that will make women want you and men want to be you. Okay, I can see it if these companies are going woke and all that, I can see where that kind of statement would be like I ruffle a few feminist feathers there. This parody comic will change the world, unquote. The description concludes, quote, Top Grift is 20 pages of the most epic of manly man action, adventure, and pure winning by award-winning and #1 best-selling author John Delarose and DC's Injustice artist Mike S. Miller, two trusted veterans of the comic book industry who are making the greatest high T alpha adventure of all time, unquote. The book features a number of variant covers from Mike S. Miller, Matt Gossin, Kevin Sharp, Nerd Wonder, and Lidl. The comic is a parody of Andrew Tate's Top G #1 comic from D&G Comics. The first book cost $97, and according to Tate, detailed the battles against the Matrix. He said, quote, they don't want you to know the truth. They want you living in a mental cage. Chained by a weak mindset, I became the superhero of the youth by telling the truth and teaching young men to be strong. And now I am being punished for it in real time. These stories reflect the harsh truths of the Matrix, how I escaped it, and what I predict they will try next, unquote. Along with the Top Grift parody comic, Della Rosa's campaign also features a top CG book written by Della Rose. The description states, quote, a 20-page epic tale manning up against the greatest forces of evil social media has ever known. Ops are being run, backstabbing is everywhere, and only one person is the real victim, Top CG. It adds, quote, Top CG is a tale for the future, a parody of a parody, the parodiest of all books. You will laugh, you will love. The book features covers by Quoth and Felsbug. Top Grift and Top CG are available to back for $15 each. Campaign has currently raised $490 by backers. It's aiming to hit 1,000, so they're almost halfway there. They're just $10 away from being halfway to their goal, so that's pretty impressive. Will you be checking out Top Grift or Top CG? Not really. Anyway, so that was that. Let's see if we have any. Nope, nobody's commented yet. Let's see now. All right, let me just see something. All right, so here's the second article we're gonna look at here. Snake Eyes remains white in Larry Hama's um, GI Joe. Okay, I thought it was Hannah, but it's Hama. GI Joe, Real American Hero series. Despite previous comments. All right, so let's get into this one. Article by John F. Trent published earlier today. That looks like Stalker down there. Snake Eyes. Um, all right, so here we go. Skybound provided a first look at the second issue of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero series that continues the story Larry Hama created back in 1982 under Marvel Comics. Larry Hama, as I understand it, was also involved in the television series or the TV cartoon in the 80s there. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 302, showcases the funeral and burial of Wade Collins. After a three-volley salute, the American flag is folded and Snake Eyes gives it to General Abernathy. I believe that's Hawk right there, who then presents it to Collins' wife. Again, the little typo there looks like. Upon receiving the flag from Snake Eyes, Abernathy tells him, quote, thank you, Snake Eyes. You may rejoin the flag detail. The panel makes it clear that Snake Eyes is white, albeit he now appears to have brown hair rather than blonde. All right, so or it could just be shading from, with it raining and all that. Could be a part of it too. Uh, Snake Eyes was originally depicted as a white man back in G.I. Joe, The Real American Hero number 27. I guess in the comics they um, actually showed more of the G.I. Joe characters in more traditional military where, like, if you ever saw the cartoon, they all were kind of in military wear, but it was often stylized for each character. You know. He was clearly depicted as having blonde hair in G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 93. I guess here they're depicting him as he does have a scarred face. That's why he wears them. Because I remember from the 5-part miniseries, A Mass Device, in which because of course on YouTube they have that channel where you can watch some of the episodes of GI Joe um, for free, and I remember from the Mass Device where um, an old blind man had rescued him and Timber from the snow. Oh, and he made the statement, he doesn't understand, he doesn't know what kind of disfigurement he that he would need the mask for, but he could tell that he had a good heart. So, um, the fact that Snake Eyes is still depicted as white in the comics is quite surprising, given Larry Hama indicated Henry Golding playing a race swapped version of the character in Snake Eyes puts it all right. Unquote. Hama originally defended Snake Eyes being white, writing on Facebook in 2019, quote, some people are saying that casting Golding, smaller quote, fixes the character of Snake Eyes, but I disagree, unquote. Well, I had wanted to keep him ambiguous until Hasbro introduced Storm Shadow as the only Asian character and made him a bad guy. Unquote. He continued. Quote, I decided to fix that by delving into his background and gradually turning him into a good guy. Unquote. Quote, this is why Snake Eyes is a white guy. Unquote. Concluded Hama. All right. I guess it's Hama because he looks. Okay, I didn't realize that could potentially be Asiatic name there, but if it's Asiatic in nature, then it's Hama, not Hama. Um, the Snake Eyes film producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura um, would then detail in an interview with Empire magazine that Hama informed him he should have made Snake Eyes Asian from the beginning. I mean, it's kind of hard when you have this one character who's basically in a mask all the time. So kind of hard to say if he what race he is. Left kind of ambiguous. Anyways, D. Bonaventure relayed, Snake in the comic is blonde haired and blue eyed. We asked him why he made him that way. He said he didn't really know. So we asked if he cared if he's dark haired and Asian here. Probably should have done that in the beginning. Unquote. Hama would be questioned about D. Bonaventura's comments on his Facebook by Jose Rafael Gonzalez. He asked, quote, as my English is not very good, but I kind of understand Master Larry. As I understand, Master Larry doesn't give a bleep who plays Snake Eyes. Am I right? Unquote. Hama responded, No, I care a lot. Harry Golding puts it all right. Unquote. Hama had also previously informed his followers on Facebook, quote, I really do not understand continuity purist. Um, don't they know that the entire 185 issue timeline to date is one long retcon, and that I never had a structured long view? I made up the story literally page by page. If I was still adhering to the same timeline, all the main characters would now be in their 70s. That is kind of true. I mean, like a lot of the voice actors who were doing GI Joe back in the from the first two miniseries, The Mass Device and Revenge of Cobra, to of course the TV series GI Joe. Um, a lot of the voice actors who were involved in that, if they're not dead, they are a lot of them are in their 60s and 70s. So, um, quote, I really love where the filmmakers have taken. I think it should have meant have taken it, and they have all done so with the greatest respect. Unquote. He concluded. GI Joe, um, a real American hero, number 302's official description states, quote, as the Joes mourn their fallen brother, dangerous new forces are mounting against them. Cobra Commander returns to Springfield, and the now mutant Serpentor Khan turns to a deadly new ally you won't see coming. Springfield was their base that they had in the last episode, the last two-parter of the first TV season. Not the was the one where Shipwreck was entrusted with the formula for that explosive water stuff that one professor developed, and you know, and Springfield was the base that he was trapped in, basically. To a deadly new ally you won't see coming. The book arrives on comic book shelves on December 20th, 2023. It will retail for $3.99. What do you make of Larry Hama and artist Chris Mooneyham keeping Snake Eyes white, but eschewing his blonde hair in G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 302? Don't really know what to think, really, but anyways, those were the only two articles we were planning on doing for tonight. Let's see, where are we at on time here? 24 minutes. So maybe I'll go try to see if I can find another article on another site here to see if we can find anything of interest. I'm bleeding fool here. Oh, that was the. Yeah, not really. Not really. Well, it's not really too surprising, just considering that. Not really too surprising, considering that. Of course, now we're into middle December, or middle November here, and and we do have a situation where the news cycle is kind of slowing down a bit as we get down to the end of the year. Of course, on the anime side of things, it's the middle of the fall season, basically. So, basically, um, this in October, a lot of the fall premieres happen, and of course, some of the shorter ones that are running just 12, 13 episodes, we finish up at the end of December. Um, you'll probably start seeing the Christmas specials coming out soon. I know Me TV is already, a very merry Me TV thing going on. They've got over the next couple Sundays here, a couple of Charlie Brown classics with with a boy named Charlie Brown and I believe a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving over the next couple Sundays here. So let me see. I'm gonna look up something else real quick here. Let's see now. All right, so let me see now. Before we actually, let me see. I know I'm just kind of hemming and hawing a little bit just because I actually ran a little short today. So I'm just trying to, because I'm just trying to see if I can find some stuff to talk about real quick here. And of course, again, if any of you have anything you want to ask about or talk about, feel free to volunteer anything. Any news? I do know that this weekend, this Saturday, Tsunami will be starting. They basically premiered the latest arc they're doing, the Mugen Train arc, with 2 episodes last week. So this week they're going back to one. So midnight on Saturday, Sunday morning, 1 episode of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, followed by Doctor Stone, then an hour of One Piece, and then at 2 Naruto Shippuden, 2:30 IGPX Remastered. So that's the schedule for Toonami for what would appear to be the foreseeable future for those who still watch Toonami after all this time. Um, so let's see now. Yeah, so things are coming along a bit there. Um, I know this week RJ's been busy on his channel with a bunch of people, a bunch of creators wanting to have him help them promote their stuff. So that's pretty good. Um, all right, so let's see. Coming up on 30 minutes here, so I think what I might just do that, unless anybody has anything they would like to ask me or talk about, maybe I will get ready to move on to the um, get ready to move on to the wrestling wrap up, as it were. And of course, we do have some news coming out. Interesting things that have been talked about with the WWE and AEW. Of course, had its Dynamite event last night. NWA also has its all right. All right. So, anyways, let's see. So, unless anybody's got anything to ask or say, I guess I will get ready to move on to the wrestling wrap up here. So let's see. WWE side of things, I think the only thing that came out today, news wise, there, um, but I guess apparently it was finalized that Vince McMahon did sell off some of his stock, TKO, and therefore did relinquish some more power in the company. From what I understand, that all means. So I think Vince McMahon's finally starting to settle into retirement, it would appear. Um, that's the only thing coming out of, again, a week from Saturday. Of course, WWE has its has its Survivor Series event. Actually, the other thing that did talk about, so next year's Backlash will actually be in Paris, France. So now, WWE is moving more and more into the international markets for their PLEs, for their premium live events. So next year, they already have things planned for Australia and Germany, and now Paris, France has been given a PLE Backlash. So that's all of it from the WWE end of things. Let's see now. Now, as we get into AEW side of things here, so on last night's Dynamite, as they continue to prepare for this Saturday, this was the Go Home Dynamite, of course, heading into this weekend's Full Gear. So in the first match on the night, the Blackpool Combat Club of members of John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta defeated Hook and Orange Cassidy in the setup for this Saturday's international title defense for Cassidy against John Moxley. It was said to be a very hard-hitting match. Which would be somewhat considered a prelude to the match this Saturday at Full Gear, which we'll of course talk about that card in a moment. Let's see. Sky Blue defeated Red Velvet in a match determined the final participant in the three-way title match. The TBS titles. Chris Statlander will now defend the TBS title against Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Sky Blue earned that shot by defeating Red Velvet here. Samoa Joe defeated John Cruz. The Young Bucks, maintaining their momentum heading into their match this weekend, defeated Commander and Penta El Zero Miedo. Young Bucks will be involved in a match this weekend against the Golden Jets of course, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega. And we'll again talk more about that in a moment. In preparation for their upcoming Ring of Honor title shot on the 0 hour pregame show for Full Gear. The Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, with D's Robinson in their corner, defeated Jacoby Watts and Peter Avalon. Um, in in the main event, 8-man tag team match, basically called the Like a Dragon Gaiden Street Fight, 8-man tag team street fight. Um, the aforementioned Golden Jets maintain their momentum. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega teamed with Kota Ibushi and Paul White to defeat Brian Cage of the Mogul Embassy and 3 members of the Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Of course, and it was also announced last night that Kota Ibushi is all elite, so that means that he's here to stay now. Also, in some NWA news, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the week here, they have a taping coming up this Saturday in Sarasota from the Robarts Arena. Be the first time the NWA has actually been in Sarasota in 30 years. So already signed for that event, for that taping. EC3 defends the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against NWA Grand Slam winner Jack Dane. Main event having been a former NWA World Heavyweight, World Tag Team, National, and North American Heavyweight Champions, will get a shot to try to take back the 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 world title, this time from EC3, and also in another title match already signed for that taping as well. Kenzie Page defends the NWA World Women's Championship against Samantha Starr. Samantha Starr, the third generation wrestler, who's of course the daughter of Sam Houston and Baby Doll, and the granddaughter of Grizzly Smith. So, there we go with the wrestling wrap up. So now I guess we'll get to this day in Nietzsche history. Through that. '98 and 1998. All right. So, anyways, today being Thursday, November 16th, 2023. Let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! First off, on this date, 70 years ago today, the 25th issue of Strange Tales from Marvel Comics under the Chipton Publishing Company brand went on sale on this date 70 years ago today. Strange Tales was, I believe, a horror anthology. This is, I'm guessing, right before the CCA came into existence, because this was, again, 1953. So the features included The Final Hour, In Disguise, The Last Man, The Long Sleep, and No Place to Go. So on this date, 70 years ago today, Marvel would release on the newsstands the 25th issue of Strange Tales. So there we go with that one. And we're going to move on to the next piece in each history. On this date, back 25 years ago today, back in 1998, in the basically Go Home Nitro from the Kansas Coliseum before let's see, before what was the what was the oops, what was that? And the World War Three. In Go Home Nitro before World War Three, main event saw Chris Benoit defeat Bret Hart via disqualification. Chris Jericho retained the WCW World Television title by a countout over Bobby Duncombe Jr. Let's see what else is going on there. Juventud Guerrera, who recently came back to Impact Wrestling in modern times. He back in 1998 on this date he defeated Kidman for the WCW World Cruiserweight title. Among some of the other key matchups that happened that night, Eddie Guerrero defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. Horace and Stevie Ray of the NWO, Vince in their corner, defeated Dean Malenko and Steve McMichael with Arn Anderson in their corner via DQ. The night opened up with Canyon defeating Glacier. So on this date, 25 years ago today, back in 1998, WCW held its Go Home Nitro from the Kansas Coliseum in Wichita, Kansas. And also, 1998 is just so nice that we're going to hit it twice. And also on this date in 1998, a couple things happened in the world of animation. First off, what was for a long time believed to be the first ever sound cartoon produced, and since been relegated to the second one, but Steamboat Willie from Walt Disney Pictures was added to the National Film Registry on this date 25 years ago today. National Film Registry is a registry of historical films as recorded in Congress. Also on this date 25 years ago today was the United Kingdom premiere of An American Tale, The Treasure of Manhattan Island, which was a direct-to-video follow-up sequel to An American Tale. On this day, in 1998 as well, An American Tale, The Treasure of Manhattan Island, the direct-to-video sequel to An American Tale, had its UK premiere. Now, according to this, the film for the United States release went into delay for over a year due to Native American actress Elaine Listed died of a heart problem 2 months later. Some countries, including Germany and Japan, released it as the next film after The Mystery of the Night Monster. So that's pretty much it in the realm of niche history. Thank everybody for being here tonight. So don't forget to come back tomorrow night. We'll be looking at comics that went on sale in we'll be finishing up our coverage of December 1939, looking at Thrilling Comics Volume 1, Issue 1 from Standard Comics, also known back then as Better Books. Rick Piper will be my co-host, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.